Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, I hope you're doing well wherever you are this wonderful Sunday evening, if you're in Kenya, or afternoon, whatever the case is, or whatever you're watching this from. This is Kenya Revolutionary for another session. We are going to have another quick session. It's a Sunday. We have to talk about stuff. Okay? Hope you went and if you're a faithful Christian, I hope you went to church and you enjoyed yourself. It's Sunday, you're kicking back with your family and friends. Just take a moment, and if this is you're getting any notification from your phone or whichever gadget you're using that Kenya Revolutionary is on, karibu sana, karibu sana, karibu sana. I'm going to give you a few minutes just to grab a seat and a snack, and whatever you're doing, just karibu, karibu. If it's your first time here, my name is Kenya Revolutionary. I talk about Kenyan politics and world politics as it relates to Kenya. So karibu sana. If you like that kind of content or news analysis and opinion, hit the like button. It's free. I'm not going to charge you for anything. Omuganda Katende is first here. Karibu sana. Thank you so much, Omuganda. Nice seeing you, my brother, from another mother, straight from Kampala. I hope Kampala is treating you good. Karibu sana. Thank you so much. Okay. Again, if you've already subscribed and you've got the notification, you know the first order of business is to do what? Like the video. Hopefully, I'm audible. My audio is well. Okay. Protocol observed. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Katende. It's always nice seeing you. It's been a while. We've gone through this for a long time. So thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, I will be talking about several issues that we are going through in Kenya, several news that makes things that are making news, basically. Okay. And one of the main ones we people are talking about is, of course, the Sifuna Gate. Now, there's claims. There are people who are saying that Sifuna was paid, or he's a Gachagua, mole. Some people are saying that Ruto offered him money, but it wasn't enough, so he still, whatever the case is, we are going to dissect that. But the main meal for the day, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, the main meal today is Gachagua. Listen, I've been telling you guys that I've been trying to find Gachagua's itinerary because I really want to interview this guy. I feel like he's getting away with murder. And when I talk about murder, I don't mean the real murder, like somebody killing somebody. I mean that the stuff that this guy is getting away with, that he's used to, the nonsense that he keeps on spewing in Kenya, but nobody checks him in Kenya because, of course, maybe because, he's playing to a friendly crowd, or people just let him get away with it. Because, if you're a prominent politician in Kenya, they let you say anything and people clap and cheer you on. Now that he's in diaspora, in the presence of people who are financially, economically independent, so to speak, and can think for themselves without the fear of being, roughed up or ostracized or whatever the case is, this guy should be held responsible for what he say. And this does not just go with Gachagua only, Matiang'i too, and any Kenyan politician that will come to the diaspora who want to continue to perpetuate this nonsense of whether it's tribal bullcrap or just lying about their historical, record. Okay, we have to hold them accountable. So something very funny happened. There was a soft questioning, a soft position that some people are labeling it as, Gachagua being cornered. I don't think he was cornered. It was just a general, honest, genuine question, okay, that a young lady who's a member of the Gen Z asked and put things into a proper perspective. And you could see how this guy actually just crumbled in front of our eyes. He took a very defensive posture, tried to, his whole sting of, being this great defender of Mount Kenya. I mean, this guy is ideologically bankrupt, okay? He has nothing to offer, okay? Besides demagoguery. That's only the thing that he can stick on. Oh, Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya. But other than that, this guy is a pinkhead. He's a pawn. He's He's an empty suit, okay? The guy is nothing. He has nothing to offer. I'm not saying that he's nothing as far as, I will never, say that, everybody has we are all important, okay? We are human beings. We are important. I'm not saying he's just nothing. I just mean like intellectually, what he has to offer politically to the Kenyan people is really nothing. Really, he has nothing to offer. But we shall delve into that. So the topic here is Gachagua is exposed as an empty suit that relies on demagoguery, okay? So we shall play and contextualize what was said, the exchange between him and the young person that was there in Baltimore. I think it was a hotel in Baltimore. Apparently, these guys are in Baltimore. I need to make a quick run to Baltimore because that's where it seems it seems like that's where Matiang'i and Gachagua seems to be residing, staying while they're still here in diaspora. And don't be surprised, after their long stay in the US, they shall hold a huge homecoming party once they go to Kenya, and there will be people sleeping in the stadiums and all this nonsense. But I digress. Let's get to the main meal. Like I said, Gachagua, you are on the front line. So I will give a little bit of the background and speech of what was said so you can actually get what is being, what was addressed, okay? I think the young lady did a good job. I didn't think it was a tough question. I think she was a really genuine young lady who asked a real question. He was like, hey, listen, I'm a Kikuyu. I'm from, I think, Kirinyaga, whatever the case is. And she said, you can't get more Kikuyu than that. But here's my problem. My generation, I'm paraphrasing what she said, okay? My generation are not buying into this politics of yesteryears where we actually just do our tribal calculations. Yes, we still do it, but we are trying to move away from that because we are a new breed. It's a younger folks. We are more intertwined in our social settings. We do business with other, community. I'm not saying she said all this, but I'm just trying to, kind of put some meat on what she said. She meant, even I as a Kikuyu, if you're going to remove Ruto, and we are trying to remove Ruto, this approach that you're taking, Gachagua, of trying to, just kind of front the Kikuyu nation, people of Mrima, as if they're under siege, saying things like we are the ones who are the engine of the economy. It kind of isolates that. It doesn't play well. Doesn't bode well with the rest of the countries. Because, and I mean, what if other parts of the countries? I mean, there are other tribes that also work hard and contribute to the economy of Kenya. There are also other tribes. They might not be as populous as the Kikuyus, but they also contribute to the national well-being of Kenya. So you, by saying these things, being a public figure who has some sort of influence, it does not bode well with the rest of Kenya. And as a patriot, you're not doing us any good, okay? So it's not a matter of being Kikuyu or not. It's just that the fact that you're trying to make it about Kikuyu, everything is about Mrima, it just doesn't, it's not playing well, okay? And Gachagua's response was, I thought it was just a poor one. But to his defense, he tried to say that, oh, you know what, me saying that Kikuyus are a driving force in the economy does not mean that other, tribes are, lazy or anything like that. But still, the message was real clear, okay? For anyone who watched what Gachagua said, there's no doubt about it that he was trying to highlight that Kikuyus are kind of superior to other tribes, which does not help the cause. I've been saying this. What Gachagua is doing, regardless of whether you like him or not, it is eventually is going to be detrimental to the Kikuyu nation. It's not going to help. Just like the lady said, listen, Gachagua, if you're going to fight to remove Ruto, you have to have a nationalistic approach. We are not just these problems and all these atrocities that are happening to people is not just limited to Kikuyus alone. Every tribe, I mean, if Luo were to come out and just mention the kind of atrocities that they've suffered through since independence, they would make a more compelling case. If you're going to have this, competition of who has suffered in the hands of the government of the day. So let's not go there. Let's use reason. Okay? Let's use the Constitution. let's use our unity as a nation to take out Ruto since he has failed to adhere to the social contract that we have as a people to govern us, which is the Constitution, and not use our tribes as a means of, trying to get support. So I will play you the clip so you can get what I mean. Meanwhile, the first order of business. Again, I will not tire to remind you to to like, share, comment, do all that good stuff, and subscribe, most importantly. So let's get to the matter at hand. I've said this over and over, and I do not want to sound like a broken record. For those of you, and the sad thing that there were people in that hall that were actually clapping to what Gachagua was saying. Again, I get it. Your tribe is an identifier. Okay? So when somebody says something against your tribe, you feel attacked. So if Gachagua is perceived as the defender of Mount Kenya, if you're a Kikuyu, it's easy to be lured to, side with Gachagua because you feel like he's your tribesman. But if you look at it through another lens, let's say, okay, you want to remove Ruto, you will need the help of the rest of the nations. Other tribes to remove Ruto. But let me get to the content. So we get to the actually what I mean. All right. Let me start blabbing. Let me just give you the video of Gachagua's speech and what this lady was saying. Okay. Then you can make up your mind. I'm just giving you, an overview of what transpired. Now here it is, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades. As you continue, and anybody who really if you would like to defend Gachagua or disagree with him or say something about whatever the case is, you're more than free to come in and I can throw you the link and you can be part of the discussion. Let's talk about this, okay? It's all about discussions. It's all about debate. It's all about having different views, as long as you're reasonable. If you come here and start talking about stuff that don't make sense, I have very short patience nowadays. I'm getting older. When you're young, you have patience. You're more tolerant. When you're old and you know the truth, you don't suffer fools. I'm not saying that people with different views are fools. I'm just saying that some people just do not make sense.
The people were targeted for destruction.
To party 2 minutes, because of time, yes.
Oh, hi everybody. Hi, truthful man. Hi, cousins. My name is Valentine Wanjiro Gethai. I'm here for representing the 625 movement, so June 25th movement. We are a number of us. Some of us are here, some of us are still coming, and we are Gen Zs. And Mheshimiwa, we are here to tell you the truth. And if we don't tell you the truth as Gen Zs, we are doomed to fail and Kasongo will be back in power. And that is the truth. We have many questions, but because of time, I won't address the questions. I'll just stick to the point. You need, Mheshimiwa, to start positioning yourself as a national leader, not as a tribal leader. And I know many people won't like what I'm saying, but it's the truth. The first mistake that has been done in this event is speaking Kikuyu. And me, I'm from Madeira, Karandi. You may take Wito. So not everyone knows Kikuyu, but I know a little bit. And unless that is addressed, then
hold up. Young lady, hold up. This brave young lady is saying something. She's saying something. Oh, Shabbat, Sabbath, today is Sunday. Let me preach today. Let me wear my hat, pastoral hat. This lady says something profound that I've been preaching. Oh, Shabbat, Sabbath, boy, I feel the anointing right now. Touch your neighbor, say, Gachagua is full of it. Gachagua is getting exposed. Say it with me. Turn to the person on the right of you, tell him, Gachagua is getting exposed here. She started with a very important point and said, you know, Mheshimiwa, and she gave Gachagua the respect that personally, if I was the one addressing Gachagua, I would not even call him Mheshimiwa. I don't feel he's worth that. But she was respectful for the sake of the audience. I'm not speaking for her, I'm just saying. But anyway, she mentioned the fact that the first mistake, some might not consider it a mistake, but nevertheless, was to address the public in Kikuyu. Now, on the surface level, it might seem harmless, innocuous. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm a Kikuyu. I'm talking to you guys in Kikuyu. Should I copy? No. That's not the point. That's not the point. This lady is making a wonderful point. Gachagua, you are a national figure, public figure who was an ex-deputy president. So when you're addressing the nation or Kenyans in the diaspora, regardless, you can't just come in and assume that everyone is a Kikuyu in the audience. Oh, hallelujah, Shaba. You understand? Especially if you're in the diaspora. Now, I understand if you are in Kiambu, Kirinyaga, or whatever, it's okay. You can speak in Kikuyu because the vast majority of the audience there probably, more than likely, speak the language. So it's okay. But here in the diaspora, you're in Baltimore, Maryland, my friend. Last time I checked, Baltimore, Maryland, historically is not Kikuyu land. Of course, there's Kikuyus who live in Baltimore, you know, immigrants who probably became naturalized citizens or whatever the case is. But the point is, the people who came to attend that venue to listen to you speak, they came in there to listen to what you had to say as a potential presidential candidate, as the former deputy president, as someone, a public figure from Kenya, from their homeland, address them. So they want to hear something from you as a national public figure from Kenya. Now, if I'm from the Mijikenda and I get there and you start atirere niwega tigawana adua kumana tie neke, I'll be confused. So this young lady points to the fact, and I like the way she said it, we'll tell you the truth, my friend. We are not here to clap and just kiss your butt because you're Gachagua. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Oh, Shab. That's you're the point here, Kwanzaa. Listen. Neke. Hey, aya, twende. Aya, tuendele. Tuendele tu.
All this will be for nothing. Because the moment we position ourselves as Kikuyu, another tribe also positions themselves at a certain tribe. And before we know it, we are back to the same problem. I watched a speech about you in Boston, and the speech was a good speech, but there's something you say that Kikuyus economic, are more hardworking, I'm paraphrasing, economic, we've grown the country. But we have done that because we are a beneficiary of the system of Jomo Kenyatta. We cannot say that there are other people I will not be telling.
Come slowly. Anakuja sana. Please. Who is this? Who you? Huh? Anaitwa Fire Mama. Come slowly. Jomo Kenyatta ni Neke. Haya, wewe mwanamke wewe, please come slowly,
Boston. And the speech was a good speech, but there's something you said that Kikuyus tuko economic, we've are more hardworking. I'm paraphrasing, economic. We've grown the country, but we have done that because we are a beneficiary of the system of Jomo Kenyatta. We cannot say that there are other people from. I don't say that. I will not be taken.
Okay, so apparently, that part of the speech. I know this is from Mutembe. Thank you very much, Mutembe, a very good friend of the show. Maybe due to the clip, whoever was putting this together, Ali slash Kidogo, maybe because of time, but you can see that it was slash because she was going there on a tangent there. For those of you who might be confused and say, what has this has to do with Jomo Kenyatta or whatever the case is? For those of you who don't know, during Jomo Kenyatta's rule, okay, people always attribute this whole tribalism with Jomo, Uhuru's dad, who actually encouraged this. And history is telling us that J.M. Kariuki differed with Jomo Kenyatta because Jomo Kenyatta basically said, when he was in power, he said, he told his friends, listen, tunyakwe hii mali na, bora usishikwe, basically. And J.M. Kariuki told him, hey, listen, this is a short-term, nyi utaiba na mpate pesa, but it will be a problem down the line. Okay? J.M. Kariuki was a real patriot. Alisema, mimi hii ukabila, it's not a matter about sisi kunyakua hii land. Hii land is for all of us. Okay? If we are doing this, our kids down the line shall have problems because, they'll come to find out that this is what happened. Okay? So during Jomo Kenyatta, he kind of crystallized this tribal politics. Wakina Jenga Karume and all those folks from back then. Okay, that's why a lot of people attribute politics of ukabila to Jomo Kenyatta. Okay, Kenyatta 1. That's why this lady is saying, majority of us, or not majority, but some Kikuyus, we are partly economically, we are doing better, partly because of the foundation of the Jomo Kenyatta era when he was pro Kikuyus. He was encouraging people with businesses, siasa ya ukabila. Now, to be fair, because I won't sit here and pretend that that is entirely accurate. Yes, Jomo developed Central Province and encourage the Kikuyu folks or Mount Kenya folks to, na walikuwa na ile kiapo and all that. We know that history, okay? But there are Kikuyus who are actually never benefited from Jomo's, ukabila thing. These are people who actually came from nothing. They were entrepreneurs. They worked hard. They were honest. Just like J.M. Kariuki. I call them the J.M. Kariuki. Karaoke type of Kikuyu. Let me just say that. Okay? There are true patriots, Kenyans, who worked hard and lifted, walifanya kazi na mkono and the entrepreneurship, and they became well off. Okay? So not everyone they benefited from the ukabila of Jomo Kenyatta's tribalism. Okay? Even though that played a part. We cannot run from that. And actually that seed, Martha Karua told us, okay, walichukua kiapo, the oath that was taken, that there will be no Luo that will come to become president or whatever the case is. I mean, that we know. So we know the tribal aspect of the Kikuyu supremacy. And this is, majority of it is perpetuated by these Kikuyu elites. Not everyone is buying into it. That's why we have a generation, especially the younger folks, who are looking at Kenya and they're saying, that stuff is not benefiting us. We want a Kenya where we can actually live peacefully in an equitable society with other tribes. Okay, we cannot look at this political sphere through the prism of the Jomo Kenyatta tribalistic Kikuyu supremacist prism, okay, scope. So that's what she's saying, that there's, but the bigger point that she's making here that I don't want you to miss is that we had an advantage. We had an advantage as the Mrima nation, okay? We were the first developed because of Jomo. Some of us are billionaires because of Jomo. So it is dangerous. It's not helpful to come out and start saying Mrima this. We are the ones who are, we are the ones who are the backbone of the Kenyan economy. That's like a spit in other people's faces. Because, if you're a Luo sitting there and you're thinking about Tomboya, you're thinking about Ouko, you're thinking about all those folks that were killed in the hands of Jomo and others and Moi and whatever the case is, and somebody's out there talking about you see what I'm saying? It causes unnecessary historical, tribal, ethnicized political difference that we are trying to bury. We've been trying to bury it. That's why we are fighting for this constitution, implementation of this new constitution. So we do not have to base our politics through tribal arithmetic, okay? We can't be campaigning using our ethnicity, our historical, whatever, tribal victories that we had ever. Oh, we had Jaramogi who did this. He was more superior than I don't know what. Njega Karume and whatever. Oh, you see what I'm saying? We are hardworking. We are. You see what I'm saying? It's a dangerous way to go. But I've always said that Gachagua does this for a reason. Gachagua is not anti-Ruto. I've been telling you this, but you don't believe me. Some of you do not believe me. He's working. He's part of that cabal of corrupt Kenyan political elites, oligarchy, that are perpetuating this ethno-political difference that is working hard to exacerbate so that it culminates into a civil tribal warfare, so that eventually him and Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto and Martha Karua and Wamalwa and the rest of them can come up and say, oh, since we are heading for, we are having civil war, in order for us to have peace, let us sit down and change the constitution and create a position where every tribal chieftain is accommodated and continue for the next 100 years, lording over us, while their children and their children inherit those positions. Look at the Kenyatta family. Even I would be surprised if Muhoho says he wants to run in 2032 or whatever the case is. That's the kind of dynasty that they want. Okay, the Odingas, the Mois, okay, Ruto, even the Ruto kid was having that matatu. Don't be surprised if he runs for Eldoret North MP, whatever, and he will win if he runs. So the point is, you have to be very careful. And I like that this lady is calling out Gachagua for this dangerous position that he's taking. There's nothing wrong with being a Kikuyu. There's nothing. God made you a Kikuyu. You can't help it. That's what you're born. That's who you are. You should be proud of it. And you shouldn't apologize for it. But if you're going to stand as a public figure or a public position, you should be mindful of the things you say, given the historical nature of our divisive politics. something, the seeds that were sown or planted by our forefathers who knew better but cared about their selfish tumbos that led us to this kind of politics that we're leading today. You understand what I'm saying? Let me not hold you back. I told you I'll be a preacher today, but let's get back to this young lady because I think she's saying something profound. And Gachagua will rebut, and you'll hear his comeback. So
telling Mheshimiwa the truth. We want Kasongo to go, but we have to say the truth. And what else? Right now I can't think of any other thing because we are still waiting for the program. But thank you so much.
Thank you. We are going to have time to.
And that is why my little daughter, Gen Z.
First of all, before even I continue that, I hate when you're having a discussion with somebody and you raise a point and somebody starts and answers a statement that my little daughter or my son, you're young, what has that have to do with anything? Don't try to little bro me or my daughter me or my son me. I'm not your fucking kid. Address the issue. Do not try to little bro me like, oh, my daughter, my little daughter. No. She raised a very potent, pertinent issue. So yeah, it just gets to me. Sorry for my French. It's Sunday. I shouldn't be using those words, but let's continue.
William Ruto is an expert in creating narratives. He's very good. And many people fall for it. Have fallen for it before. He created a narrative against Uhuru Kenyatta that he's a drunkard, and he convinced us Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard and is useless.
Uhuru Kenyatta was actually a drunkard. I mean, I'm not even taking up for Ruto in this. Uhuru Kenyatta was getting drunk in public and cussing people out, cussing the Kenyan people. So he was a freaking drunkard. There's no narrative there. We saw it. I mean, the whole thing, I'm just helping you understand where he's going with this. He's trying to get away with it, like deviating from what she said by blaming Ruto, saying Ruto is the one who's creating this narrative that, oh, he's this and that and that. Come on. The fact remains the fact. Uhuru was a drunkard. It's not up for debate. Stop it.
And we all disobeyed Uhuru Kenyatta, embarrassed him, shamed him, because William Ruto convinced us that Uhuru Kenyatta is a drunkard, is a useless man.
You did not embarrass him. You actually voted him as the Mudamaki. That is not an embarrassment. He was the Mudamaki voted on again.
And he deceived all of us. We hated our own president, our own son, and refused to listen to him. He's very good at creating narrative. That narrative that regarding Gachagua is tribal is a narrative created by William Ruto because there's nothing else he can say about me. I have not been involved in corruption. Had I been involved in corruption, he would have been taken me to court by now. Had I done a single deal with the government, today I will be in prison. He has nothing against me because anything I have said has come to pass and people know I'm a man of integrity. So all he does is that regarding Gachagua is tribal. But nobody listens in Kenya. That is
Gachagua. I'm not taking up for Ruto, but some things are self-evident. Some things are self-evident. No one is creating a narrative that wewe ni Mkabila. You wake up and all you say is Mrima, 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 Mrima. That comes out of your mouth. Nobody's creating a narrative. That woman was calling you out for it, not because he believes that Ruto is telling her that you are a tribalist. It's your action, what you're saying. So no one is creating any narrative. I mean, I'm not taking up for Ruto for this. But it's evident, self-evident. You, yourself, that's all you're doing. Your whole politics around is all about Mrima. You are the freaking deputy president, for crying out loud. Speak to Kenyans. as Kenyans of all across the board, not Mrima. So stop saying that Ruto is creating a narrative. You created it by yourself, by your own action.
On being.
And by the way, don't talk about corruption. Let me just respond to this real quick. Okay? The reason why you are not in jail for the corrupt deeds, hiyo shamba ulichukua ya ndugu yako and all the 200 million uliiba vile ulikuwa DO, DC, whatever the case is, okay? The reason why you are not in jail is because you political class, you are not the true enemy of Ruto. You go the same WhatsApp group. You're pretending to play opposition and Ninio. The same way Ruto was faking that beef between Uhuru and himself. Okay? Because if they really hated each other, Ruto would have jailed Uhuru Kenyatta by now. Okay? If Uhuru Kenyatta really hated Ruto, angekuwa sham jail by now. But you people make deals because you're part of the criminal elite. Mnakaa chini usiku, lakini mchana mnajifanya ati mmekoseana. So, and we know the failed justice system in Kenya, the corrupt jurispesa. You don't expect them to find you guilty after you've probably bribed them. So don't say that I'm a man of integrity. I'm not in jail because I've stolen nothing. We know you've done that. And we understand the failed judicial system of Kenya, jurispesa. So stop it. We are not kids. This is an advanced class. You're not talking to fools over here, Mr. Gachagua. Please, with all due respect, I wish I was there so I can talk to him.
Gachagua is not tribal because when William Ruto stood as president, he was not Kikuyu, he was Kalenjin. There was a candidate called Mwaura Wahiga. If I was tribal, I would have supported Mwaura, not William Ruto. When things were working for him, he had such kind of... If I was tribal, I would have supported Mwaura, not William Ruto.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't know. Kenyans did not know who Mwaura is, whoever that Mwaura is, okay? Nobody knew him beyond whatever. That's why you didn't support him. Ruto at least had made his name up to that point. We know he was a North MP, North Eldoret MP, whatever the case is. He was an ODM, he left ODM, he made UDA. I mean, he's been through the limelight. He's a public figure. He's a national, his name, household name. Mwaura, I don't even know who that is. That's the reason why you didn't choose Mwaura. It's not like because... Stop. And the sad part, people are actually clapping. There are people who actually are... But like I said, there are people who are doing this because, again, tribe is an identifier, just like religion. People affiliate. They think that anyone who kind of is pro their tribe, regardless of what they say, they always support that because they can identify themselves with that person, even if he says bullshit. But continue, Mr. Gachagua.
When things were working for him, he had such kind words about me when I was supporting him. This guy is a people's person. He cares for the ordinary people. He's a great mobilizer. He loves his country. You play the clip, what he said on May 15 when he unveiled me as running mate. It was the best poem I've ever had in my life. He had such lovely and kind words about me. But now that I disagreed with him to tell him you cannot kill children, you cannot steal the country's wealth, then he says Rigathi Gachagua is a tribalist. My daughter, please, don't fall into that narrative. When you are here, you talk about Kenyans, you don't talk about America. Every group of people have some identity. Never allow anybody to make you feel embarrassed about who you are and where you come from. That narrative.
Okay. Number one, who made you embarrassed or uncomfortable about who you are? The lady actually started by, before even she made her point, she even said, I am from Kirinyaga. I'm a Kikuyu. I'm proud of being where I'm from. That's what she started with. She wasn't saying that I feel ashamed of where I'm from because Ruto has made this narrative that we Kikuyus are bad people. That's not what she said. She started by actually saying that she's proud of being a Kikuyu, but she has to be honest about your type of politics. That's what she said. So don't try to make it as if she's not proud of being a Kikuyu. She is. She made it very clear before even she posed the question. Try again, Gachagua.
That narrative by William Ruto is meant to intimidate the Kikuyu nation and to make us feel sorry about who we are and challenge our capacity to work hard. And that is why when I get an opportunity, I must remind the country that the Mount Kenya people have not been given any advantage by anybody. They are wealthy, they are enterprising because they work hard. They are industrious, and they must be allowed to be. If I keep quiet,
no one is stopping the people of Mount Kenya from doing anything. Okay? No one has, from the best of my knowledge. Okay, I don't know if Ruto is actively working to stop Mount Kenya people from doing business. I do not know. As that, I can't speak for that. Okay? But as far as I know, even pre-Ruto, no one has ever come out and said we are going to stop Kikuyus from doing business. So this siege mentality, okay, victim complex that you have, that sisi ndio tunaonewa, cut it out, Gachagua. Stop it.
if I keep quiet, the people will be intimidated to feel sorry about themselves and who they are.
I've never met a Kikuyu who feels sorry for themselves for being a Kikuyu. I've never met that in my life. And I've met lots of Kikuyus. Never met one who feels sorry for being Kikuyu. Never. Never ashamed of who they are. As they should. Why should they? So I don't know what you're coming with this. Kikuyu feel this. I've never. You're the one who's creating this because that's your whole shtick. That's the only way you can stay relevant. You have to be a demagogue and play it as if you're saving them from this big monster that is looking to destroy their businesses and to kill them and to abduct them and do all the sorts of things. That's your whole thing. That's your whole thing. That's how you're surviving. That's your whole thing. Without that, what are you offering? So mpaka ujifanya ati you are the great defender of the Mrima. Look at historically. Okay, we can say Mau Mau, during Mau Mau fight, the majority of the atrocities were committed against the Kikuyu tribe because the British occupied the Mrima, central province. Yes. But since independence, to this day, I'm not saying that Kikuyus haven't died for this country or haven't been patriotic. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they don't go around feeling sorry for them for being who they are. There are proud people who are relatively successful in different aspects of the economy. Kenyan economy, okay? And they never look at themselves as victims. They've never felt like victims. Of course, we have patches of, post-election violence in 2007 where they were targeted at Rift Valley. Yes, Ruto might have a hand in that. We understand that, okay? But even when that happened, majority of them never came out and feel sorry for them and be like, oh, we are being under attack or whatever. They don't have that victim complex that you're trying to introduce. That way you can position yourself as the voice of the Kikuyu. That's your only thing here. The lady told you, I do not feel I'm not embarrassed. I'm proud of being from where I'm from. I'm from Kirinyaga. You can't get more Kikuyu than that. And I'm proud, but I have to tell you the truth about this kind of politics that you're playing, Gachagua. But see, you cannot confront her or deal with that truth that she gave you. You have to paint a picture of a victimized community, tribe, in order to position yourself as the Messiah of the Kikuyu nation, of the Mrima, so you can have some type of relevance. Because without that, you have nothing to offer. There's nothing about you. You're just like Ruto. If anything, your name came up, you're brutalizing the very Kikuyu people in 1992 when you're a DO or DC, whatever the case is. There's cases of corruption here, zimejaa huko kotini about your corrupt cases. It is said you went and brutalized Matiba's family. But now 2025, you are the Messiah. Oh, my tribe is wanaonewa sana. Ruto is creating this narrative. Ruto doesn't have to do shit. You're the one who's starting saying Mrima. Ukiamka Mrima. We've been saying this. When ndio unaamka unaanza kusema Mrima. Ukisema Mrima, you're a public figure. The problems that affect Mrima people is the problems that affect other parts of the... If it's extrajudicial killings, yes, there are Kikuyu youth who have been gunned down. Luo youth have also been gunned down. Loyal youth have been gunned down. Kamba youth have been gunned down. Ama sasa tuanze kucompete ati nani ameuliwa kushinda mtu mwingine. I mean, what are we talking about here? Hi, Gypsy Kona, I see you. Karibu sana. That's what I mean. That's why you are trying so hard to keep this victim complex, so that you can remain relevant. Because without that, Gachagua, what is your political philosophy? What's your plan for Kenya? Of course, you can't have a plan because you're part of Ruto's government. Of course, you cannot come up with a reasonable plan because you've been part of this corrupt system since its inception. You're a beneficiary of this corrupt system. So there's nothing, you cannot come with a manifesto telling us how you can change this country. You can only rely on, sisi watu wa Mrima tunaonewa, and I'm going to be the one who defend Mrima. That's all you have.
Nobody has given the people of Mount Kenya any advantage. If you want a loan, you must pay security. If you want a business, you must pay licenses. The people are simply hardworking. By me saying they are hardworking, I never said anybody else is lazy. No, I don't believe in negative ethnicity, but I believe in affirming my people and who they are, and I defend them from intimidation.
Again, to be fair to you, you never say that other communities are lazy. You never say that. I'll be fair. But the message is clear. If a public figure comes out and say that Kenya cannot move, it was very direct. I can play that video one more time. You are very direct and spoke very clearly saying that Kenya's economy cannot advance without the input and the participation of the people of Mrima. I know Kizungu ilikuja na meli, but I can comprehend what that means. You don't have to say that other people are lazy, but the implication is very clear.
My daughter, if you follow what happened 2 weeks before I came to America, you realize why I have to defend the Mount Kenya people. Businesses for the Mount Kenya people were targeted for destruction. In other areas, they were not destroyed, because they wanted to intimidate the people of that region into silence. If you look at the people who are arrested and taken to court, 92% are from that region and charged with terrorism. If you do remember, there was a meeting in Mount Elgon where William Ruto was seated, and the MP for Ebuya West, Honorable Wanyama, said that all communities will gang up to isolate the mountain people. And William Ruto was there laughing and clapping. Somebody must defend the mountain. If all of us get intimidated and allow the people to be intimidated and to be made to feel sorry as to who they are, what happens?
Now, I agree. There, I agree with you, Gachagua. If the president sits there and there's somebody who speaks in the podium saying that, you know, the mountain or Kikuyu or whatever the case is, people from Central Province should be targeted, or the business or whatever the case is, absolutely. If the president does not chastise or, put things in line, then by all means, there you are justified to come defend and say that, hey, listen, this is not right. Okay? That's justifiable. We agree. Yeah, somebody has to defend that. Somebody has to come up and counter that and call out the president and whoever said that. I agree with you there. Okay? But that's not where it stops. Your pronouncements that have been very troubling, even as a deputy president, you've consistently, without failing, been propping up this idea that, in your view, Kenya only is confined to this Central Province, Mount Kenya region. That's the problem. We are not saying that it is wrong for you to stand up and point out if the president is targeting the Kikuyus or whatever the case is, somebody saying negative things about the Kikuyu. There, I'm with you. But that's not it. Okay? Because there are politicians who have said horrible things about other communities. Ruto himself was there, wale watu wa kung'oa reli. Yeah? And so forth. I mean, what's his name? What's this idiot that that was new? I forgot his name. You know, that calls Raila Kihi, whatever the case is. I forgot his name. He just left the government the other day. I mean, so what I'm saying is this. All this has been going on. It has been checked. Well, I agree with you that if a president is sitting somewhere and a community is being targeted, is talked about in a negative way, because the president is supposed to be the face, a representation of all Kenyans. So he should have stepped up and say something. So in that instant, yes, you're justified. It is justified for people to call out the president. But that's not what I'm referring to. We are talking about the general talk, nonsense that comes from your mouth. Okay? That's what we are referring to. So it's a clever way of trying to justify your little stick of being this Kikuyu Messiah or Mount Kenya Messiah.
And I say, I don't have to be president. I don't have to be anybody in Kenya. And if I'll be nobody, because I stand with people, let it be. I supported William Ruto, knowing he's not a Kikuyu. I and the people of Mount Kenya are nationalists. We are good people.
Yeah, you were supporting Ruto when you were saying watu wa kung'oa mreli, and you never came out and spoke about that, against that. Okay? So now you're out of the new. Now you're okay. I see how this is going. Okay.
Against the advice of Uhuru Kenyatta, our own son, who was president, he told us this.
Now he's your own son. And we remember how you were talking about Kenyatta, how his parents stole, never paid taxes, acquired land. I mean, my head is spinning right now.
Man is a thief. And if you elect him, you shall suffer. And we said, no, we promised him. We have an arrangement. We are honest people. We are men of integrity. Let us give him a chance. Because we are not tribal. Had we been tribal, we would have listened to Uhuru Kenyatta, our own son. So let nobody tell us that the Mount Kenya people are tribal. Please give us a break. We are not. We are good people.
No one is saying that the whole Mount Kenya is tribal or they are tribalist. That's not what we are saying. We are not saying that. We know a lot of brave men and women from Mount Kenya who are not tribalists. They are patriots, patriotic Kenyans who have fought for this country. Wangare Maathai, rest in peace. I can go on. I mean, JM Karaoke, we just named him. I mean, I can go on and on, okay? So we are not saying that Mount Kenya are tribalist. We are just referring to the young lady was referring to you, Gachagua, you, the individual, you. Stop propping up the whole community, okay? Wewe ukifanya kitu kibaya, usianze kusema ati Mount Kenya wamefanya hivi na hivi na hivi. No. It is you as an individual. You, Ninio. If you do something wrong as Gachagua, now we are calling you out on it. We are not going to say that Mount Kenya have done something wrong because Gachagua has done it. No, we say it is Gachagua, not Mount Kenya. Now, you are a person of influence, and the reason why we are warning you is because you have influence. You're a public figure. So continuing with this narrative, and Ruto did not create the narrative. You did by your action and your pronouncements. Okay? You will influence people from that community. But in the long term, your position will be more detrimental to the Kikuyus than actually helping them. Okay? You can defend the Kikuyu. There's nothing wrong with that. But please, the country, the same things that you're going through there is happening across the nation. So you as a public figure, make it a national issue, just like the Gen Z did. Gen Z didn't come out and say that, oh, Mount Kenya, watu wanauliwa huko, their business is destroyed. We are gathered here so because we are defending Mount Kenya. We are defending Kenyans as a whole. Ukiangalia Kisumu, watu walipigwa bunduki. Ukiangalia Kirinyaga, watu walipigwa. Ukiangalia, we are defending everybody as a country. Ruto is the one we want to remove, and the rest of you people who do not want to respect the constitution, including you, Gachagua. So the young lady is squarely telling you the truth, you, Gachagua, not Mount Kenya.
That is why you find today all other communities are happy to work with us. Because we are good people, we are honest people, and we are nationalistic. And we are part of Kenya. But that does not change our identity and the language that we speak together. Just the way we respect other communities and their right to speak their own language, we too must be respected and be allowed to speak our own language. All that noise you had in Kenya when I arrived in Seattle was because of the Gemi Festival. People who don't like us or unhappy that the people are so many looking happy and singing their songs. That's all.
Gachagua, the young lady made it very very specific. She mentioned that the first mistake you made was when addressing people in that venue that you're speaking in. People are speaking in Kikuyu. And I've said, if it was a gamer festival in Seattle, we understand the gamer is specific to a certain community. No one can come out and say that I'm mad because you are speaking in Kikuyu to the gamer festival. That's not what we are complaining about. The lady was saying that you were addressing people in that conference room in Baltimore. Kenyans, you're addressing Kenyans, okay? But instead of talking kwa lugha ya taifa, we ukaanza kuspika in Kikuyu. And there are people who came out to hear what you have to say as a national leader, as a potential presidential candidate. People who are not Kikuyus. So what she's saying is that you should have addressed the crowd in the national language where everyone understands, since the target audience is Kenyans in general, not just Kikuyu. Now, if you're going to a Gema festival, you are more than free to speak Kikuyu or whatever language they speak. There's no quabbles over that. No queries, no concerns. Understand what I'm saying? So don't try to conflate the issues. The lady was very specific that if you want to be a national leader, okay, things like speaking in a language that everyone understands will be helpful, especially in a venue where people showed up to hear what you have to say, you being a potential presidential candidate in 2027. Now, if you go to Gema, you can speak in Kikuyu, and nobody is saying that you can't speak in Kikuyu. So why are you trying to make it about, oh, sisi wa Kikuyu tunaonewa ati they don't want, they're not happy because we are speaking Kikuyu? That's not what the point.
They would like us to be divided so that they can rule us forever. And I am aware and I'm very conscious that our unity is our strength. And our relevance in the national political discourse is informed by being united and casting our vote in one ballot box. So I want to assure you, my daughter, we are good people and we are national. And I work with everybody. And I have traveled. I was in Ukambani. I was received like a king. I was in Mombasa, Kilifi, Malindi. I had a good engagement with the people. I was in Narok. I was in Kajiado. I work well with the Ma. I was in Bungoma. I was in Kakamega. I was in Vihiga. I was appreciated by those people.
Again, Gachagua, we're not fools, okay? Even Ruto, if Ruto was to go to Western, Nyanza, Ukambani, Kisi, he will be met with people because we know the disparity between the poor and the rich. Watu watatokezea because wanapewa 500. People will show up because they hope to be paid. Okay? That means nothing, even if you are received as a king. It does not mean they agree with everything that you're saying. If anything, it doesn't even mean they agree with you. It's just watu wako na njaa. We have poor folks who are hoping, nikienda kwa hiyo meeting ya Gachagua, maybe he will throw me something, 500 bob or whatever the case is. And that's how politics has been run.
The people of Kisii are waiting for me because they know I'm a Kenyan leader. I am a nationalist. But much as I'm a Kenyan, I'm a nationalist. I come from somewhere. And I retain my right to talk for those people if I find somebody who wants to throw them under the bus. And that is something that we must do all the time. Why do we say one term? And that's why I need your help, because you are part of Kenya.
All right. So basically, this is what our dear friend, and there's another clip actually I liked by that young lady, because she kind of clarified what she was trying to say. And let me play it very quickly. I think this lady, I like, she wasn't, trying to, she was just asking a really softball question that most people don't want to ask.
So what I'm wondering is if...
By the way, did I explain myself on the narrative of tribalism? Did I make sense?
So what I'm wondering is, if we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position this politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mrima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have, you know, but that's
10-0. 10-0. We have to pull that again. Pull it, please, young. Please, just repeat that. Please. You have to repeat this. I'm sorry. We have to repeat.
Explain myself on the narrative of tribalism. Did I make sense?
So what I'm wondering is, if we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position this politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mrima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have...
Just blew the whole Gachagua's shtick there, because Gachagua's whole thing was that Ruto is trying to create this narrative that will make us that to be, you know, intimidated to be Kikuyus. And this lady was like, by the way, I am not embarrassed of who I am. I'm a Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga. You can't get more Kikuyu than that. So basically telling Gachagua, stop. You're not. You're not. You cannot. You have nothing to stand on. Please stop saying that we are not proud of who we are. We are. That is not the issue. I like this kid. I like it. She has that spirit. Tafadhali. We need more people like this. She's not buying it. Don't talk to us as if we are not proud of who we are. That is not the issue. Kikuyus are not suffering from low self-esteem. It's not like they don't know who they are. They know who they are. They're proud, as they should. The issue is how you're conducting your politics. Stop using the Kikuyu tribe to advance your own Ninio. You're pulling a Raila Odinga here. We are not victims. You can't get more Kikuyu than I like that. I'm going to have a t-shirt written that way. You can't get more Kikuyu than that. Love it. Basically telling Gachagua, I am as Kikuyu as it gets. Perhaps more Kikuyu than you. So don't talk to me about pride, Kikuyu pride, or not being a real Kikuyu. Bombosita. Let me go. Let me just listen in.
You know, but that's just the truth. How are you going to convince us? Because, you know, I'm trying to explain to you the way we see it, right? There is that pride, yes, you know, of being a Kikuyu. You know, but there's also a people who don't see that. And we as Gen Zs are saying we are tribeless and we are fearless. And the politics being done now is the way it was done 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you know. And that is what is really scaring us, because if we divide ourselves, if you say you're coming to the defense of Mrima, then there's someone in, I don't know, Rift Valley or Western, who will also say they are going to that defense. And then there will be another group, I don't know, in, where? Coast, yeah, we are going to that defense. And then now there will be a vacuum gap, and then Ruto will become president.
I feel you. And the Gen Zs will help us deal with that nonsense. Because they are tribeless, and they are fearless, and they want.
How are the Gen Zs going to help you with that issue if you are alienating, dividing the very Gen Zs who came together as a people, representing every tribe in Kenya. They didn't care about your Kikuyu, Luo, Luya, whatever the case is. They came in as Kenyans. So how are they going to help you with that if your politics is actually dividing the very idea of people coming together as one Kenyan people, not people defined by their ethnicity? That is the point that the lady is making. And your response is Gen Zs are going to help us with that. You see what I'm saying? Mimi naambianga hivi. Hata hii nini yangu imeharibika. This is what I usually tell you guys. These politicians, these Kenyan politicians, ukiweka chini ukaanza kuwauliza maswali, basic questions, common sense questions. Wacha zile swali za JKL. Oh, Martha, don't you find it hard waking up every day? Fighting for Kenyans? Is it not hard? Don't you get tired sometime? What the hell is that? Ask the real questions. That's just I like that lady. Not hakujaribu kumfinya. She wasn't being disrespectful. She was just making a valid question. Point. Huh? We are not embarrassed of who we are. Don't lecture me about being a Kikuyu. I'm as Kikuyu as it gets. The point is, you are actually doing harm than good to this Kikuyu community by the kind of politics that you're pushing. That's the point. And the Gen Z will help you with that. The Gen Zs are founded by the idea of being tribeless, leaderless, and partyless, which is contrary to everything you stand for, Gachagua. So they're not going to help you with that. Gachagua, Rigathi, Rigiji, Wamunyoro. This is usually what I say. This is what I usually say. Unaona how when you put these people, ukiwauliza maswali ambao they're not used to being asked. Just like a few months ago, you saw how Ichungwa looked very stupid when he was asked by basic questions by the Al Jazeera journalists, real journalists. And they were softball questions. He couldn't answer. Because they're so used to getting by with bullshit. Every day when I help, they just say, and nobody holds them accountable. And kudos to this young lady who asked her the real question and Yani ame flip it over. He stripped Gachagua of everything that Gachagua is trying to build. Oh, I'm defending this. By saying that she's a Kikuyu and she's proud, basically just strips Gachagua of everything, saying that, you know what, there's nothing you're fighting for here. If anything, you're doing more harm. Those are the questions that I want to ask Matiang'i. Matiang'i anafaa ulizwe maswali nyeti. If there's one like that, I don't even know what nyeti means. Gypsy's telling me Kalonzo have joined. Kalonzo, I don't know what Kalonzo has to offer at this point. Kalonzo is like Raila Odinga. They've lost the relevance. Just like Raila. Now, did you notice, just to segue kidogo before I come back to the new, did you notice that Raila Odinga, when, actually Raila Odinga, okay, like someone made at this point, people cared more about what Sofina said than what Raila's 1 hour NTV interview. And did you realize that it took Raila Odinga to say that when he went to, is it Ugunja or Ugenya, or whatever the case is, where it was in Nyanza province, that's when he said that he did not, ati maoni ya Sifuna ilikuwa maoni ya Sifuna. But when he was Kakamega, he dare not say that. He just said that ODM iko na demokrasia, kila mtu aseme vile anasema. So he's tailoring his message to the crowd that he's addressing. Okay? But anyway, this was a perfect illustration of how empty, shallow, hollow these politicians are. They just make a lot of noise, kupiga-piga makelele, because they have money, and the majority of the wananchi wako na njaa, so they will go clap and get their 500 shillings, or whatever the case is. In the case of, in the case of Central Province as it is right now, and most the hotbeds, people who hate, or not hate, but politically don't like Ruto at this point, he can afford and go say those things. But if he starts asking simple questions, you see how this guy, he cannot stand on his 2 feet. He's nothing. I mean, what's there? Like, what's there? Besides just Mount Kenya, hey, Mount Kenya people should be proud of that. Who tells you they're not proud? They don't see themselves as victims. It is you trying to say that so that you, uonekane ati wewe ndio sasa Messiah, wewe ndio. Millicent is telling us Kalonzo is too confused that he cannot arrange a rally himself and afraid to face the real people. Ndio maana unaonanga nani? What's his name? What's his face? This guy from Matiangi. Matiangi never takes questions from the audience. Never. He knows better. That's why I'll give Gachagua 2 points for taking questions. At least he was brave enough. Martha Karua never takes questions. Because they know if you ask them, Raila Odinga never takes questions. After he, his handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta, he has never taken questions for the audience. They know that. Because there's nothing they have to offer. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I will end it here. I just wanted to illustrate and demonstrate to you how useless your average Kenyan politician is. They make a lot of noise when they are in the crowd, standing on top of their cars, addressing the public, okay? But when you sit down with them and ask them simple, real questions of what they are really made of, what their political philosophy is, their vision for the country, they have nothing. One term is not a plan. Okay? You have to have a comprehensive, simple step-by-step plan of how you would like to lead this country into a better situation that they are. Yeah, they are cowards. That's why I don't take these people seriously. They are one group meant to maintain the status quo. That is basically what it comes down to. Okay? Yeah, Sifuna nimechoka nayo. I can't speak more about Sifuna because it's all drama za kawaida. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I will leave it here. Thank you so much for joining Gypsy Corner, Millicent, Mariam, and everybody else who was watching in the background without saying anything. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, share, comment, do all the good stuff. I'll probably see you guys later. I'm Namnagan. Follow me on X, follow me on YouTube, KenyaRevolutionary.com. Subscribe, share, like, comment, do all the good stuff. I'll see you guys later. Peace and blessings. I'm out.